Yo, what is up? What is up? We are back again. We are back again. Hoops and Brews episode. Well, shit, I haven't marked this episode 310, but it's probably episode I don't even know 600 or something like that. So shout out all y'all that's been rocking with us through the years. I'm back with Joe.
Yo, what's good?
We got actual basketball that will be starting in less than a week now. Actually, I think the first game is the 21st, right?
Yeah, so Tuesday.
Yeah. So basketball is basically back. So the one thing I want to do that we didn't get to do last time because our Western Conference preview ran long. Really good preview. If you guys want to check that out, I think you should check that out. But starting off, I want to get into. Actually, I want to real quick. I do want to talk about this. Thoughts on the preseason, right? So obviously, preseason you can't take too much away from the preseason, but I did get a chance to watch at least some preseason basketball, and I don't know if you got a chance to watch any, Joe.
Yeah, I watched some, not too much, but some.
So what was your thoughts on did anybody I guess
Stand out?
Yeah, stand out? Did anybody not stand out? Like, what was your thoughts on what you saw during the preseason?
Like I didn't watch too much, but from the standouts off the top of my mind, first I was thoroughly impressed with Ace Bailey's performances when he played multiple games. I know he started dealing with knee tendonitis after a couple of those games, but he put on a show in the games that he did play extended minutes in. I believe he had almost 31 game, another game 20 plus, and just the way he was scoring, he just looked like scoring was really natural for the guy. It looked like the reason why he was pretty much a unanimous top 3 pick until all the shenanigans went on with his agent. He just basically proved exactly why he should have been. Why he was in those conversations and why he is a top prospect and why he's going to believe Cooper Flag and Dylan Harper and those guys are running for Rookie of the Year. It just looked natural from all 3 levels: mid-range, 3-ball, the post, in the paint. It's fun to watch, and I'm very intrigued on what he's going to do this year. Hopefully, he can get over that knee tendonitis. Also, I was impressed by. I like Cooper. I saw from Cooper Flag. It was the Mavericks did something very interesting, throwing him at point guard, which is something I don't expect to see too much of him this year. Jason Kidd said that they just throw him out there a little bit, let him get some wrinkles out in the preseason, and see what it's like. Let him make some mistakes, let him gain some confidence, and just kind of see what happens. I didn't really like it too much. I didn't like how those lineups looked. The way they looked a little robotic with Cooper Flag at the 1, play at the 2, and a PJ, and it was Derek Lively and somebody else I believe. But I didn't really like how it looked at the 1. He just didn't. That obviously not his natural position. But I think it was a good idea though. In games that don't count, I thought that was nice. What the preseason? I thought the Lakers got a big boost last night from Gabe Vincent. Looked like he got his confidence back. He's been very underwhelming so far in his Laker tenure. So that was very encouraging to see him do that. The man hit 5 threes in 4 minutes, and some of them were contested. He even got fouled on the 3, was like 3 free throws. So I thought that was good. I think Rui looked good. I believe we're gonna need a lot of scoring from him, especially with Brian out the offense. So it's gonna be nice to see him step into that role. A looks okay. I mean, he's had good moments. But I mean, that's pretty much for the most part the main points I took from the preseason, I believe. So far, I haven't watched too much, but that's what I call it. Derek White looked great. One thing, Derek White looked like he ready.
Derek White was balling.
Yeah. Like ready for a bigger role.
Yeah. Derek White was definitely balling. Also because I watched a little bit of that Celtics game. Derek White was balling. Anthony Simons is gonna be a fun watch with the Celtics this year because Anthony Simons has never seen a shot that he don't like. And he is about to get a lot of shots this year with Boston. Now, Jaylen Brown pulled a muscle earlier yesterday, which that's not what you want to see if you're the Celtics. But I think the Celtics have a very interesting team. I definitely think it's like a reboot year for them. I think you'll get a chance to see what Peyton Pritchard can do this season. Like I think his role is gonna increase, and he'll be a guy that's at least in the running for most improved player. I think their bench and center rotation is going to be very interesting to watch. But I don't think Boston, as long as Jaylen Brown can be on the court and Derek White can continue doing. Well, granted it was a preseason, but continue to do what he was doing yesterday. I think they can still at least be. They won't be a terrible team. They'll be an actual playoff team. I don't think they'll be like a play-in team. They'll be an actual playoff team. I think they can still get 46, 47 wins, maybe even 48 wins out of this squad as long as injuries don't start to pile up throughout the season. And as long as their young guys can keep growing and keep getting better. Like I forget the center's name, but the black guy from Portugal.
Well, I don't
yeah, him, seeing him play more. Also Luke Garza. Luke Garza looked solid to me I mean, he was a guy who won, if I'm not mistaken, he won Player of the Year in college. Obviously, college isn't the pros, and that can happen sometimes, and you make up to the pros and may not be what you were in college. But I mean, look like he can stretch out and shoot a three, so he's going to get more chance to play. Hugo Gonzalez, they have a 19-year-old from Spain. I'm very interested to see what he can do this season and moving forward. So, and then again, as I said, Anthony Simons, like I'm interested to see what he'll do on this team and if he can be a guy like he does give them an element that they didn't have last season. I don't think they had like a flat out guy who could just come in and just light it up for real. Like, yeah, Peyton Pritchard could do his thing. He could like shoot. I think Simons gives them a better ball handler than what he is off the bench. And somebody who, come in and just flat out score. Like he's a guy who can really come in and give you 20 points in 20 minutes. And I think that's something that they didn't have last year. I also got a chance to watch the Clippers. The Clippers, granted, it was the Kings. I think the Kings would be a very interesting team. Shout out Russell Westbrook for finally getting on the team. He's with the Kings, and I'll speak more to that. But the Clippers, man, like if they could be healthy, granted, I know we say this every single year.
For the last what?
For the last like 4 or 5 years. I know we said this every single year. But dare I say, granted, all the guys are older, but dare I say, as far as the way the roster looks, this might be the best constructed roster of this Clippers tenure. I'll say that because, right, you got Chris Paul off the bench. I saw what Chris Paul had John Collins looking like he was back in Atlanta with Trae Young. And granted, I didn't watch a lot of John Collins last year in Utah, but I think he have like, you said he has like 18 points.
Yeah, he had a career year last year in Utah.
Yeah. He can now he can stretch out, shoot the three. His three ball is much better. It wasn't like that when I was more watching him his rookie season. He can stretch out, shoot the three. His three ball is much better than what it once was. He'll have a Brook Lopez off the bench. They've been looking for like a backup center pretty much for years. Like they was trying to put Ben Simmons at that role. They tried to put Serge Ibaka at that role. They picked up Devin Eubanks. They went and got out what's my man who used to play for the Celtics? Who's from Germany? Oh my God, why am I having a brain? Well, anyway, they put him at that role. So they've tried many times to get a backup center. And you got to remember, Brook Lopez was still a guy. He was a starting center in the NBA 8 months ago, right? So you got him off the bench. I'm assuming that, Ivica Zubac will even go to get even better this season, especially now you have Harden and you have Chris Paul. So there's no reason why the pick and roll can't be lethal for the entire game because you have both of those guys. You have insurance for injury. Also, you have Bradley Beal, who I'm sure, granted, he wasn't bad last season. It just didn't work out in Phoenix. He has something to prove. I'm sure he wants another contract. He's not going to get $200 million again. But I'm sure if he comes out and he has a good 18, 19-point season, good shooting efficiency, somebody might throw in $15, $20 million for the next 2 years. As far as 20 for each year, $40 million.
Like a Dame type deal, something like that.
Yeah. So I'm sure he wants that. Derrick Jones Jr. also him playing with Chris Paul and Harden. And the biggest thing for them, Kawhi finally had a healthy offseason. He did not go into the offseason rehabbing, which he's been rehabbing pretty much. I mean, literally almost every year since he's been in LA. He's going to the offseason rehabbing. He didn't do that this year, so hopefully you can manage him, and he's there from opening night. Unlike last season, he came in January. He's there from opening night. So I think if these guys can actually be on the court and actually play, I think that they have a genuine shot, man. I think they have a genuine shot to do something special. Again, I know we say that every single year about this team, but just from granted, and it was preseason and it was the Kings, but just from the way it looked on the court, I liked it. Even just the length they showed, the length that this team can put out on the court, I think was a big thing. And Chris Dunn, would have been an all defensive player last season, but didn't get the minutes. Him being in the backcourt with Chris Paul, or him being in the backcourt with Harden, and having Brook Lopez behind you off the bench at times, I think it can bode really well for those guys. The Kings, I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea what
nobody knows, brother.
I don't think the Kings even know what they're doing. Like, to go from Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox to, no disrespect to Russell Westbrook, but year 18 Russell Westbrook, Dennis Schroeder, and Kevon Ellis is a generational loss of talent. even like granted, I know you could do dribble handoffs with Sabonis, and you can do that with DeMar and Zach, and you can run some things, and they'll figure out a way to win some games. But I have no idea what the Kings plan to do with this roster, and the way that they just, I guess, I don't want to say squandered all the excitement that they had. What was it, 3 years ago when they went to the playoffs?
Yeah, when they had to light the beam.
Yeah, like the way they just squandered, the way they found a way to squander all of that in 48 months should be studied. So yeah, I guess those are my thoughts on the preseason. Like I said, I didn't watch too many games of the preseason. Preseason basketball is not my favorite, but from what I did see, those are my personal thoughts. But let's do it. Let's go into it. Let's go into our Eastern Conference preview. Did you make a list? I haven't made a full on thought out list yet.
I do have a list. I do.
You have a list? Okay. You know what? Let's start with you. You give your list and give your reasons to why, and I'm gonna interject in there here and there.
All right, cool. So first, I got the New York Knicks as my number 1 seed next season, heading into the 2026-2027 NBA season. I got the Knicks first. I think this is I'm 28 years old now. This is the best Knicks roster on paper since I've been seriously, watching basketball since I was 7, 8 years old. This is the most competitive roster I think you have from top to bottom. I like the coaching change. Nothing against Thibodeau, but I think he was a little too stubborn, and I think that at times that really did hurt them in the playoffs. Just obviously what he's been doing his entire coaching career. Playing guys 40, 45 minutes a night, your top guys consistently, not even looking at the bench. I think that kind of caught up to him at times last year. I like bringing in a veteran, former coach of the year, and Mike Brown to come in and lead this team. I like what they had somewhat of a quiet offseason. I know they picked up Brogdon, who just actually ended up retiring. They picked up
which
the guy
crazy,
from,
by the way.
Happy
retirement to Malcolm Brogdon.
Which was insane. Then they picked up the guy from France, Yabusele, who was a 6-year last year. They made a couple moves, but I just think that they should have a lot of camaraderie, a lot of chemistry at this point over there in New York. They play hard. They have a guy who was at one point in MVP talks last year and will probably push himself into those MVP talks once again. In Jalen Brunson, he's a guy who's most of the time the smallest guy on the court, but he's also the most the toughest and arguably the most skilled guy on the court most of the time. He is a guy who's small, but he takes over games. He's proven that to us in the postseason, in the regular season. A guy who can get you 25, 26 plus at his will. A guy who can take a guy. He won Clutch Player of the Year last season, right? Or not last season, year before that. No, I think it was the year before. I think it was the year before. Yeah. I know Steph won last year. It's probably the year before that. A guy who is a proven clutch scorer. A guy who is not afraid of the moment. A guy who looks like a clear cut leader. A guy who the city of New York loves. A guy who I think that they kill somebody over Jalen Brunson. And for him to be able to earn that respect from that fan base, being that considering he is a smaller guy, most of the guys don't see too much success. I think that's huge. That speaks volumes from him. I like, they still got I love their wing tandem with between Hart, Bridges, and Anunoby. Those are 3 top tier wings in modern NBA. And the one thing you need in the modern NBA to win games is you need wings who can defend and shoot. And with Hart, you get a little bit of defending, shooting, playmaking. You get a little bit of all of those things. Between those 3 guys, they are. I won't say they're elite at all of those things, but they're above average at most of those things. They can get out there and they can really help you win games, set the tone for games, and they can make it tough for the other opposing guys. They don't really have the issue matching up. They can switch off with those guys. They can really they cover up for what Brunson and Towns at times lacks. I think that OG Anunoby can defend bigger guys. He can defend smaller guys. He can defend those mid-tier guys. So I think that's big. It really complements their filling out their roster. So I like that. Towns is going to be back. Towns is another guy who's going to be a clear-cut all-star between those 2. I'm not sure if somebody else is squeaking from that roster, but I think he'll be another clear-cut all-star. He can stay out of foul trouble, move his feet a little bit on defense. I think that'll help him a lot, but we expect him to come and just do Towns things. We expect him to average, 20 and 10, 20, 12, with shooting around 42, 43% from 3 on 6, 7 attempts. So we expect him to go out there and do those things. So I got them pushing as my number 1 seed just with all the expectations and, all the injuries and whatnot. I expect them to come out with a vengeance. I expect the New York Knicks to hold down the 1 seed and make a lot of smiles in Madison Square Garden.
If I can interject, also Mitchell Robinson is healthy this season as well. He's coming into the season healthy, which I think can bode well for them. I think that last year, because he's probably, as far as backup bigs, can you name 5 better?
Backup bigs?
Yeah, backup
Mitchell
centers.
Robinson? I don't think so.
Yeah, so I think that'll bode well for them as far as chemistry wise going into the year if he can just stay healthy consistently. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure. Defensive anchor and Mitchell Robinson. That'd be big for him. He also a great finisher at the rim. That should be that's gonna help them a lot. He's always in and out the lineup over the years. So hopefully if he can stay healthy, that'd be big. And my 2 seed, I got the Magic. Mainly because I think the potential here is just too high. I know obviously last year between both Wagner and Bankero, they both missed a combined 58 games. That's a lot of games between the two best players. But they bring in Desmond Bain. This is a team that was dead last in 3-point shooting last year. They shot 31% from three as a team, which is pretty horrible. Also played pretty slow at about I think around 96 possessions, something like that. But one thing in the preseason I realized they're trying to play faster. They are trying to change that. They're around 105 possessions per game in the preseason. So if they can, change the culture a little bit, Bankero can take that next. He's already obviously an elite all-star, but you can take that next step to where he's like one of those like an all-star starter type players. I don't think he's never been in that conversation. I want him to take that as a number one pick about 4 or 5 years ago, who just got his extension. He already got paid. So if he can take that jump into like what a lot of people think he can be, which is a tier one leader, tier one guy. Maybe boost his points per game to 20, 26, 27. He can stay out there with Mo Wagner. And if Desmond Bain does what he's been doing his entire career, one of the better two-guard shooters in the league in an era where you need shooting, he can light it up fast. He's easily 20, 22 points per game, a lot of threes. He should open things up for that entire offense. I think Jalen Suggs is still working his way back from injury. But
He's
I think
always
Mo
working
Wagner.
his way back from injury, but hopefully he can stay healthy this season.
Yeah, but I think Desmond Bain's really gonna open things up for this team. I like what they're building towards. Who did they last they made the playoffs last year? Who did they lose to in the first round? No, they lost to Boston, right? Yeah, they
Boston.
lost.
No, was it?
I think it was Boston. No,
It was Boston because the year before was Cleveland. They took Cleveland 7. This year was Boston.
Yeah, this year was Boston. So I mean, I got another thing. Boston is out now, so they got a clear path. I like this team. Hopefully, if they can play faster, if they can get some more, increase that 3-point percentage, and guys blossom into who they can be, and they can stay on the court. I like what I see from the Magic. You got anything to say about that? I feel like I missed somebody on this team.
Yeah, two things. One, they picked up Tyus Jones, which thank God, because this team has needed a point guard.
Oh, they got Goga on Jonathan Isaac. Okay,
they've been needing a point guard since, brother. It gotta be. What was the last good Magic point guard? Jameer Nelson? Was it Jameer Nelson right for Austin? Like they might have needed a point guard for that long.
Might be the last good point guard for that
after
franchise.
that, you had DJ Augustine. Which shout out DJ Augustine, but DJ Augustine was pretty much more of a friends. But I'm just happy they finally have an actual point guard, right? Like I think, granted he won't start, but I think he'll help coming off the bench because like you had Jalen Suggs. So I think Jalen Suggs is a combo guard. He's never going to be a pure point guard, but I do think he's a winning player. Like Jalen Suggs is a guy you need on your team to win basketball games. But I thought they had Franz a lot of times and Paulo a lot of times like running the offense. And I don't think that they need to run the offense as much as they were running the offense. So I think it'll help free both of those guys up. I think it'll help free both of those guys up to just do what they do. And yeah, I'm with you on like the Desmond Bain thing. Like he'll help a lot because I mean, and defensively they've been great, but I think offensively for the past few years they've been at the bottoms of the league because of again they just can't like shoot three. So I think like having Desmond Bain out there, a guy who's been 44%, will actually help. I don't have the Magic ranked exactly where you had him ranked, but I have him ranked pretty high. So yeah, fair.
Yeah, and also I mean, hopefully they get a healthy Jonathan Isaac, a guy who's been when on the court, he's been one of the better defenders in the league. He's long, tall, athletic, can guard multiple positions. So a full year of him, I know he's been limited a lot over the years. He came back from injury and got hurt right back again. If they can get him out there, I think that'll help a ton for the defense. One of the most versatile defenders in the league, arguably, easily. I like they bring it back. They still got Wendell Carter to 5, and you also have Goga. I'm not even going to bother with his last name, but Goga is also a guy who can hold down the paint, protect the rim,
like Batiste or something like that.
Yeah, Batiste. Yeah. Also, they got a young guy becoming Anthony Black, a guy they took out of Arkansas a year or two ago. He can really, so hopefully he can get some minutes. He can grow into what he could possibly be in this league. And then yeah, I just like the overall potential of this team, a younger team who went out and proved to the world, their management proved out to the world they want to compete. Like you don't trade 4 first-round picks for a guy. 4 was it 5, 4 or 5, either one. You don't go out there. You don't go out there and trade that many picks for one guy if you're not trying to compete. If you don't want to win games. So they'll be definitely a fun team to watch on League Pass. And hopefully, eventually they'll be on more nationally televised games. So I like teams who compete. So I'll for sure be watching them, and that's obviously what they want to do. On to my next team. I got my 3 seed. I got Cleveland.
Fair.
I got Cleveland because last year obviously they ran through the Eastern Conference. They were the clear-cut number 1 seed, but this year's going to be a little more interesting. Obviously they picked up Lonzo Ball. Max Strus was going to be out for the first couple of months. Darius Garland's going to be out for the first couple of weeks. He's still dealing with his turf toe issue. Lonzo Ball still won't be playing back-to-backs. I think that's interesting. They got DeAndre Hunter, who's never really played more than 60 games in his career.
And they do got some really hurt guys. I didn't even think about that. They do got some really hurt guys.
Yeah, they've been dealing with injuries a lot. But overall, the ceiling though, when you look at their top guys, Donovan Mitchell was a top 3, top 4 shooting guard. Evan Mobley was insane last year, defensive player of the year.
Do you question? What do you think Evan Mobley's ceiling is? Like, because I've heard talk from like the internet people that think like Evan Mobley has MVP type potential. Are you on that boat? Do you think that when we reconvene in 7-8 months, Evan Mobley could be top 3 in voting, or fuck around and win it?
MVP, I don't see MVP, but I do see a really, really, really talented player. I think he could be. Well, was he All-Star last year?
I'm pretty sure he was.
Was he?
I think so.
Yeah, I see him standing in the All-Star conversation, and I see him getting better on offense. But MVP just seems like a little bit of a reach. I really like what he brings to the table all around: steals, blocks, the length, the ability to slide his feet on the perimeter and protect the paint, the ability to knock down the open jumper, the ability to post up occasionally, and just the ability to be just a headache for the other team on both sides of the floor. But MVP, I don't know if I really see MVP. MVP, I don't see that.
I'm with you. I don't either. I'm with you. I don't.
Like a little too much.
I don't know if he's going to develop offensively enough to win an MVP award. Personally.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think that for him to win it, for him to win an MVP award, I think he would have to average probably more around like 25. And I don't know if he's a 25 point per. I don't know if he's a 25 point per game scorer. I could be wrong. But I don't know if he's a 25 point per game scorer in the National Basketball League.
Yeah, I don't see that either. But this team, they kind of haven't figured out. Kenny Atkinson has found his way as a coach in this league. I think after that season last year, and he has pretty much solidified himself as a coach in the league for years to come. They have the talent, like you said. These guys, they top to bottom. Let me see. I think that's pretty much. I don't know how much more I got to say about Cleveland. We know they're a proven team. I'm not sure as far as their playoff ceiling. I don't know if I can see them actually making noise in the playoff. I can see them get to the second or third round, but as far as the finals appearance, I don't know if I can see it mainly because of injury health, and it just seems like they're just missing a little bit of grit, a little bit of too many more pieces where I can put them in that type of territory. But yeah, I'm gonna put Cleveland as my 3rd seed. So I'm gonna move on.
Yeah, keep going. Or should I give my top 3? Actually, now that you say what you said, we actually had the same top 3. Because I forgot that Garland was going to be out some. Like I forgot about some of the injuries that they had. But actually no. I'm gonna take that back. Knicks 1. I still have the Cavs 2. I think they can manage without Garland for a little while, or they might manage so well that they forgot that they don't need Garland. You still have Donovan there. You still have Mobley there. You still have Allen there. Like they'll be able to win some games. Hunter won't come out the gate and fall out. You know what I'm saying? So you'll still have. Your basic core, and that's good enough to win you some games. Donovan will probably come out giving you 26, 27 tonight. Again, Evan Mobley, defensive player of the year. Like I said, I don't see him jumping up to an MVP level. I don't know how much more his offensive game can get better. But if it can get better, that even bodes more well for them. So I still have the Cavs at number 2, or maybe even winning the East again. But right now I got Knicks 1, Cavs 2, and I got Magic 3. I think it'll just take them a little bit of time to figure it out going forward. But I thought the Magic would have been a team that would have won 50 games last season, and they probably would have won 50 games last season if they weren't so hurt. So I still have the Magic as the top 3 team in the Eastern Conference.
By the way, did you see Lonzo Ball in the preseason? He looked like he still
yeah,
he got like 20 minutes. He had like 9, 4, and 4.
Like he can still move around. I mean, I think it's incredible what modern medicine can do, because 20 years ago his career would have been over. So shout out him for just being able to be on the court and being able to contribute. And I think he'll give them, I know he will give them more than what Isaac Okoro was giving them last season. Just on the fact his ball handling, he's still a really good playmaker. He can knock down a three. I think he has to get the 3 ball a little bit back, but before he got hurt, I think he was at like 40% from 3. So he can knock down a 3. So he can give them a different element off the bench than what Isaac gave them. So yeah, shout out Lonzo. I'm just happy to see Lonzo back on the court playing basketball.
Yeah, for sure.
I can give you my 4 to 6. My 4 to 6, I have the Pistons.
Yep, I was gonna say the same.
Again, I like what they added. You got Jaden Ivey coming back. Obviously, he was hurt last year. You added Duncan Robinson, which they needed some shooting, especially after you lose Tim Hardaway Jr. And then you just add another year of internal growth. Again, I think Cade Cunningham is a future MVP of this league. And so I would like to see how much better he can go. Like, I think he can get to 27, 10, and 8 next season. I don't understand why he can't do that. So another year building off Asar, great defender. Hopefully he worked on his shot so he can be better. Tobias Harris, granted, Tobias Harris was never a bad player. He was just getting paid entirely too much in Philadelphia, but he's never been a bad player. He's always a guy who can come out there and at least get you 17, 18 points a night. Jalen Duren, I want to see him continue to grow. Isaiah Stewart, you know what he do. So again, I like this squad, and I think that building off what they had last year, as long as they can keep building and guys can keep getting better, I like this squad. I do think losing Dennis Schroeder is bigger than what people think it is, because I think Schroeder at least brings something to every team he plays on. But I think they'll be fine. Again, like I said, you bring in Ivy back, you sign Duncan Robinson. I think that, and if I'm not mistaken, didn't they get Karis LeVert to the Pistons? Or did I make that up? I think they got Karis LeVert as well off the bench. Now, let me check that out and make sure. Did I make that up?
Hold on.
No, I didn't. Yep. They got Karis LeVert. Yep. They got Karis LeVert off the bench, which, I mean, he'll be a guy who's probably in 6-man of the year contention. So I like what they did. I like their backcourt. I like their front court. If I had one question about them, I guess it would be their wings. But Ron Hollins, 1 more year, 2nd-year pro. We'll see what he can do. But if I had a question about them, I guess it would be their wings. As far as the shooting from their wings, the consistent shooting from the wings. Like I said, you did sign Duncan Robinson. So I think that can bode well for them in the future. So my number 4 spot is the Detroit Pistons. My number 5 spot is the Atlanta Hawks. I want to put them higher. I really want to put them higher because I like what they did in the offseason, bringing in KP. As long as KP isn't sick anymore with whatever he had. That was one of the weirdest stories, I think, in NBA history. He was sick, but nobody knew what he was sick with.
They didn't know what it was, yeah.
Okay, whatever, anyway. But bringing in KP, you have Ricochet for another season, which I think Ricochet shocked some people last year. I think Zachary Ricochet showed why he was picked number 1 last season. I know Stephon Castle was a guy who won Rookie of the Year, but I think Ricochet showed why he can be a quality wing in this league for a very, very long time, especially when you're playing with a guy like Trae Young. You need defenders around Trae Young because there's limitations to what he's able to do defensively, but you'll take that because of what he's able to do offensively. Dyson Daniels had an incredible season last season. It was just what they needed at the guard spot instead of DeJounte Murray for all the reasons I just named about playing next to Trae Young. Jalen Johnson, if Jalen Johnson didn't get hurt last season, he would have been an all-star. So Jalen Johnson coming back and having a full, hopefully a full healthy season, I think can bode really well for them. And I think that I think Trae Young is the best player on the team, but I think Jalen Johnson, I think it needs to be like a Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire type thing. Well, like Steve Nash was the best player, but Amari Stoudemire in his own right was him. Extremely him. Like if Amari Stoudemire has 2 more healthy years, he's going to the Hall of Fame. I think that Jalen Johnson needs to be that for this Hawks team to get where they want to be. The only reason I have them put where I have them put at is because, again, health. And I'm not sure how healthy they can be. But you have Okongwu, who I'm excited to see what he can do this year as well. Luke Kennard, who can shoot, and putting that next to Luke Kennard, who can shoot, and putting that next to Trae Young. And you picked up Nikhil Walker. So, Nikhil Alexander Walker. So, picking up him, I love the additions that the Hawks made. I love the fact that they're trying to go for it, especially in this Eastern Conference. Like, if I'm anybody in the East, and I saw what Indiana did last season, if I'm the Pistons, if I'm the Hawks, if I'm the Magic, we got to go for it. And I think that that's what you saw these teams all try to do in the offseason is go for it. Because, why not? Boston, you think they out of commission. Cleveland, yeah, Cleveland is Cleveland, but we saw what the Pacers did to them. The Pacers might not, they not going to be there next season. So I love the fact that these teams are going at it. So I got my Hawks at the 5th spot because of injuries, but I really, really, really wanted to put them higher. And my 6th spot, I got Boston. I still think we're having Jalen. I still think we're having Jaylen Brown. You got Simons. You got Derek White. Peyton Pritchard will probably take a step up. The only thing that worries me with Boston is maybe their front line, which I guess is the big worry because front line. But that may be the only thing that worries me with Boston. But again, like I would like to see how some of their young bigs progress. Young bigs as in Neemias Quinta. Xavier Tillman, I think you kind of know what you're getting, but Jordan Walsh was a first-round pick. He didn't really get to play much. They picked up Chris Brusher. So they'll probably be able to find a way to at least manage. And again, you still got an all-NBA player in Jaylen Brown. You have a sometimes all-NBA. You have an all-NBA level defender in Derek White. As long as they don't get hurt. And again, I'm looking for Peyton Pritchard to take a step up this season and be a guy who could be in MPI talks. So for me, I got Boston at my 6th spot in the East.
All right, so to wrap up, I was gonna start at my 4th. So 4th, I got Detroit. Just like you, like I said, Cade. I think he's gonna have a big season for him. He can be. I think he's a guy who can be in MVP talks. We talking about how we don't think Mobley can be in those talks, but we both can agree Cade is a guy who can be in those talks. I think about the team, they do also have 2 guys. Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren are both due for extensions. So we'll see if they can go out there and get those done. I like one thing that's big to start the year. Jaden Ivey dealing with injuries to start the year, so I really hope that we can get a big boost from Asor. I want to see Asor in a bigger role this year. Obviously with Dennis Schroeder leaving too, I want to see how he attacks. I think he's obviously his brother is the one who made the all defensive teams. His brother got a little more shine than he did playing in Houston. They were the 2 seed last year, so
But he's a guy who could be there too.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as a guy, if he takes a step, he could be there too.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be big for. I think he can. I think he's just as good. Obviously, man, he got more recognition last year.
He ain't just as good.
I think he can be. I think he can be in the long. Fair. Not necessarily right now, but I think he can be. I think that obviously man got the more recognition because of all of the success he's last year with the Rockets being the 2, right up to the 2 seed. But I think that I'm really close to attention to how he responds to taking on a bigger role this year. I think he looked really good last year in spots. I think he did a hell of a job on Brunson last year in the playoffs, even though he got the worst of it.
Cross out the screen.
That's what happens when you guard the great.
Left the frame.
That's what happens when you take on that challenge.
Literally left the frame for the series.
What did Mark Jackson say? Good defense always beats good offense. So
it happens. Good offense always beats good defense.
That's not what I said?
No, you said good defense always beat good offense.
Oh, my bad. I'm tweaking it. But yeah, that's what I meant to say. But I'm excited to see how he takes on that role. I just think this team, they kind of brought back, the grit. You saw a lot of the guys, a lot of the old school Pistons guys acknowledging this current team and how they play, the Isaiah Stewarts of the world, the Short Thompsons of the world. They brought back, kind of the feeling. Obviously, it's not the 80s Bad Boys Pistons, but for the first time, I'm lying. No, I'm not going to say that because when they had, for the first time since 2004, 2005, in that area when Ben Wallace and
2000 for
the first time since then, they kind of they brought that feeling back, the aggression, the toughness, the competitiveness, and just like a team that who really it's going to be a tough out every night. All 80 games.
City finally has a team that they can get behind.
Yeah,
Detroit is a great sports town, and when the teams treat the city well, the city will treat you even better.
Yeah, so pretty much, yeah, I like Detroit all around roster. They should have they should have like you said, Tobias Harris, a guy who was somewhat, obviously he was overpaid in Philly, so he's kind of laughed at. He didn't rise to the occasion sometimes. But last year, he was pretty good. I was times in the playoffs last year when Tobias Harris was the only guy on the Pistons who could find the bottom of the net. The only guy who could get something going. I think that's huge. A veteran guy like that who's been around the league for a very, very long time, coming in, who's showing he still has a lot in the tank. A stretch forward can kind of get a bucket when he needs to every once in a while. I think that was a great pickup for them. I think he saved them a lot last year. I don't think they have a lot of the success they do have last year if you don't go out and grab a Tobias Harris. So I like their overall the roster and what they show down here. Also, I kind of like Marcus Sasser a little bit, the guard, the backup guard. I think he can score a little bit. He gets more of opportunity as well with no Schroeder and Ivy struggling to get back healthy at the beginning of the year. So we'll see how that plays out. And then my 50 also have Atlanta. I have Atlanta. Like you said, Dyson Daniels was outstanding last year. All defensive guy, led the league in steals. He's also due for an extension, so we'll see if they can get that done sometime soon. He's well deserving based on last season. They obviously bring in Porzingis, who's they're saying is fully healthy now, despite that weird situation last year. And then Jalen Johnson is just he's exceptional. He's one of the better young players in the league. Young guy who's athletic, can jump out the gym, can defend long, can shoot, can score.
He was the number one player in high school, if I'm not mistaken. I think
and
people kind of forgot that because he went to Duke the COVID year. And I think he sat out or something, which is why he was a 20th pick. And I think people kind of forgot that about him.
Okay, but Jalen Johnson is outstanding. The guy who, if you're doing fantasy basketball this year, I highly recommend you draft. Are you joining the league back?
Yes, I want to do it. Yeah, we need to do the draft immediately, actually. But yes,
did you see it? Did you see open the app, bro? You didn't get a text and stuff.
Yes, I did get a text, but I didn't open the app. But yes.
Open the app. I scheduled the draft for Sunday night at 7 p.m.
Well, thank you for telling me, bet.
Yeah, but I was gonna let you know. But so that's a guy. If you're doing fantasy basketball, I would highly recommend going after him. He fills the stat sheet up. Also, they went and got Nickeil Alexander Walker, a guy who was pretty good last year for the Timberwolves on their run to the Western Conference Finals. I like that pickup, a guy who can defend, shoot a little bit, do a little bit of playmaking. Got to take some pressure off of a Trae Young. Got to take some pressure off of a Dyson Daniels. A guy who's can win you some games. I like that pickup. And like you said, he also bring in Luke Kennard for floor space, and a guy who's pretty much a career 40% 3-point shooter. Like you said, and then the Porzingis pickup can be. I think Porzingis and Trae Young, them two, in a pick and roll or pick and pop, whatever you want to call it. I think that's big. Porzingis obviously is older, but he's still a heck of a player. Was big for Boston when they did win the championship. And he probably sways a lot last year if he is healthy. So I think that was a good pickup. And like you said, they got Zach, the number one pick a couple years ago, Riskar. They got him for a full year. Yeah, Richard they got him for a full year. So I'm shout out to Atlanta. They're gonna be a fun team to watch. And in my 6th seed, I know you went with Boston. I'm going with Milwaukee.
That's fair.
Unlike popular belief, I like this roster for Giannis. Giannis is more of a guy I think he's built to play fast in a modern NBA. So the guys that have around him, I think they can do that. Giannis doesn't really bowl well when there's a ball heavy guard, a guy who needs the ball in his hands. They don't really have any of those guys around him. Giannis can just kind of run around freely with spacing. He can get up and down, catch some lobs. He can kind of play his game to the full. I think this roster maximizes him. I absolutely love when you maximize Giannis. I think you could. In this conference, I believe damn near anything is possible. I think they can get about. I wouldn't be mad at myself if they finish higher than 6. But I think that when you build or when you maximize him, I think that damn near anything is possible. I expect to have a huge season for him. I think the Miles Turner pickup was huge. He can shoot. Not only can he shoot, he also protects the rim. So him and Giannis should be a very dynamic front court on both ends. I think they complement each other on both ends. So that'll be fun. What they got? Kuzma coming back. You got Kevin Porter Jr., guy who played good minutes for them last year.
You got Gary Harris. I got Gary Trent.
You got Gary Harris. Yeah, those are guys
another year with AJ Green. Another year with AJ Green, Torian Print. They tried. Amir Coffee, they tried. They tried.
Yeah, I like those pickups. Those are all somewhat versatile guys who can shoot the 3-ball well, and just spacing and they can just let Giannis do Giannis. A lot of nights Giannis will win you games alone. He'll have those 50-point explosions. He'll have those 30-point triple doubles. He'll do those things where sometimes the other team is just like, we can't stop this dude. And They win games just off that alone. So if those guys can fill out their roles, these are proven role players. So that's why I like it for Giannis. It's not like there's question marks. These guys they're gonna understand their role. Nobody's gonna come in there doing too much. So I think it complements Giannis well. And when you can compliment Giannis well, you can win games. That's how good he is. That's how much of a full raiser he is.
I'm not mad at that. I still have, if I'm doing my 7 to 10, I still had the Bucks 7. But again, I'm not mad. Like Giannis may come out here and win MVP. And if Giannis come out here and win MVP, shit, they might finish 4th. But I just think that we in the era where, like, if I look at the other 1 through 6, top to bottom, I think they have a better roster once you go 2 to 13 or 2 to 10 than what the Bucks have when I just look at what they have on the court. But yeah, the Bucks tried. I mean, obviously the Dame thing was unfortunate. It didn't really work in general, like you said. Like, it just didn't work. Like, Dame needs the ball and Giannis needs the ball. And Giannis isn't the one to just set screens and roll all day. I think he should do that more. I think that when he won the championship, one of the things that they did with Chris Middleton was, like, he was the ball handler a lot and Giannis was the roller a lot, at least just in that playoff run. Like, I think he should do that more, but that's not what he wants to do. So, and, you know, with Giannis, you kind of got a lot. You let Giannis do what Giannis want to do. And the big thing for the Bucks here, they signed his brothers. You heard what Jeff Teague said on his pod, where, like, he said he different around his brothers.
He did.
So, I mean, listen. I think all of us are different when we're happy. When we're happy and we are around people that we like to be around, I think we're all better and we are more productive. So yeah, I mean, granted, I could be wrong about this. Giannis, like I said, Giannis may come out here and damn near win the MVP award and shut me clean the fuck up, and they end up being like the 3rd seed. But how I have them looking on paper, I got them at 7. Number 8, I got the Pacers. I still think that they can be a play off or play in team.
That front line, brother. They got James Wiseman, Tony Bradley. Ooh, I don't know, man. I gotta give them some time to more in the Halliburton and fill that 5 spot.
But
I can't see it with that 5 spot.
But here is just
front line.
Yeah, but here is why I say that though, because I still think you can get away with Siakam being at center, and you can get away with throwing Toppin out there at the 4. You can get away with it depending on the team. Also, Jarris Walker, he'll get a chance to play. He was drafted 2 years ago. Like he'll probably get it.
6'9"?
Yeah, 6'8", 6'9". They're gonna have to play fast regardless. Like, but they was doing that last season. They was up and down the court. They don't want to play in the half court.
You know why that fashion worked?
I don't. But at the same time, I wasn't as big on Halliburton as a lot of people were. I thought that he had great moments, but I didn't think he was the best player on the court for that team every night.
But I mean, that system, it worked because of him. He's the one to push. He's the one getting those out and throwing the outlet passes and making those reads and hitting the big shots.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I also, like I said last time, so I think Nembhard's gonna average about 20.
But it's not the same though.
I know what you're saying.
Even those games when he wasn't Tyrese Halliburton, wasn't hitting shots, he's still pushing the pace. He's pushing the pace. He's still doing that. He's still the pace going for sure. He still is the engine in that car, and the car ain't going too far
going for sure. But you do have TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell was also doing some of those things as well. TJ McConnell, granted, you can't put him out there for 48 minutes. But we saw the finals. That motherfucker looked unstoppable sometimes. And he was also pushing the pace as well. I didn't think they lost much when Halliburton went to the bench and TJ would come in sometimes. Sometimes it actually got better.
I don't know about that.
There were certain games.
It might have been a couple times. But
there were certain games. I'm not saying every time, but there were certain games it got better. Shit, game 7, it only became a game solely because of TJ McConnell.
I mean, that's one game though. You can't. That's not something that you. That's an anomaly,
bro.
I know he was outstanding, but like we not. We're not going next season like let's rely on TJ McConnell because of that one game. We're not doing that.
No, I'm not saying let's go and let's rely on TJ McConnell, but TJ McConnell, arguably, like who's a better? What are the best backup point guards in the league? I'm gonna say Tyus Jones. TJ McConnell was on the short list.
No, yeah, what? Tyus Jones. Simon's a point guard. Right? Or a shooting guard.
Simon's a combo guard, bro. I'm not letting Simons run my offense. But if you want to throw him in there, sure. But yeah. But I'm taking TJ McConnell over Simons. Yeah, Chris Dunn not really a point guard. Chris Dunn like a shooting guard forward now. Chris Paul.
Oh, okay.
Chris Paul is in there. Point being is he's on the short list of best backup point guards in the NBA. Siakam is still a all NBA level player. I think Nembhard can win Most Improved Player. I look for Benedict Mathurin, who's searching for a contract to come out and have a big year. Like, he's searching for a contract. So I still think that this team can be an 8th seed, especially when I look at the rest of the Eastern Conference. My number 9 spot, I got the Heat. I think the Miami Heat will be at number 9.
Yeah, they
and
always find their way into the damn playoffs.
Yeah. Like, granted, I do like the front line they have now with Khalil Ware and Bam. I think that could bode well for the future. I like the concept of the team that they have. It's just that I don't think they have any real, like, if that team had a star, they would be like where the Magic are. But that team just doesn't have a real star to me. They have really good players, but they don't have a star to me. But if they had one, especially with Eric Spoelstra coaching, I will put them as a top 4 team in the conference. And my number 10 spot, it could go either way for me. It could go Bulls or Raptors. I think the Raptors are a very long team. I think if Scotty Barnes can play, Brandon Ingram gives them something that they didn't have last season, which is basically just a scorer, like a borderline scorer. Like, when he goes out there, he going, like in the preseason game, he had 20 points on 20 shots and no assists. That's about what you expect from Brandon Ingram. With RJ Barrett, with Scotty Barnes, who he kind of had a down year last year, but I still like his trajectory as a player. And as far as the Bulls, I kind of like their new direction that they're going in. Kobe White obviously gave you 24. Kobe White gave you 24 a night after Zach LaVine left. Josh Giddey stepped up. They still have Vucevic. You got a lot of guys on the bench who, like Dalen Terry, get some playing time. Isaac Okoro gets a fresh start. Buzelis, I'm very interested to see where his career can go and how good he can be. Patrick Williams, who I think is overpaid, but I think he can at least give him something. Can he go out and be a quality starter? I think the thoughts of him being a star are pretty much over with, but I think he can go out and at least be a quality starter in the NBA. So we'll see. But so yeah, that's how my 7 to 10 goes. What's your 7 to 10, brother?
My 7th. I actually put the Raptors at 7. I just think that when you have what they have as far as payroll goes, I think you have to be in competitive mode. And I think that it's actually while a lot of the guys are arguably overpaid, there are still talent. They're still talented. So the talent is still there despite the fact that they are overpaid. They have 4 guys making north of $30 million, and Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett.
To be the 7th seed, that is nuts.
Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, that's 2. Emmanuel Quickly, and who's the
BI, right?
Yeah, and BI and Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
And you also have a starting center you paying, and Jakob Poeltl, who's a very productive center, but he's getting $20 million. So their payroll is out of this world. I'm pretty sure they're somewhere deep in the luxury tax. I didn't look into all that, but I'm pretty sure they're somewhere deep in the luxury tax.
Be the 7th seed. You are scamming your country.
Yeah, basically off the fact that, let's say towards the end of the year, if they ever want to, I don't think you want to take when you're paying this much money. I don't think that's even an idea. It's a very interesting, it's a very weird blend of talent. I think, when it comes to, RJ Barrett, I feel like RJ Barrett and Brandon kind of operate in the same areas of the court at times. They both like that mid-range area. I think Scotty Barnes is a heck of a young player who can fill up the stat sheet, dynamic pretty much all around. I like Jakob Poeltl to clean up around the rim and do all the stuff you need out of the center. But they also picked up a guy who's a young Ochai Agbe from the Jazz. I think he has pretty high potential. But they also banking on Grady Dick, who's a pretty good shooter. A guy who can do some spacing for those guys, like I said, operating in the same areas. Hopefully, if he had some pretty good moments last year. If he can, build some momentum off that, I think that'll help. But I just think that this team has to be in competitive mode throughout. They don't have a choice but to compete. And the talent is there. And don't have a choice but to figure it out. When you put all that money into a team, you don't sit back and think, "Oh, let's hopefully in 3 years, 2 years we'll be good." You don't. That's not your mindset. So I'm pretty sure what they said in the locker room with the GM and the coaches and the messages, go out there and compete. So I think I'll expect them to grab this talent that they do have and figure it out. You don't really have too much of a choice. And anything less than honestly, this is kind of embarrassing. But anything less than what is already this 7-8. Is really embarrassing for that city and for the team in general to pay all that money and have all that talent and then not be able to compete in the Eastern Conference that a lot of people are saying is pretty much wide open. So I expect them to capitalize on that. At my 8th seed, I got Miami, just alone off the Like they always figure it out. They always make it to the playoffs, and they always figure it out. Even though Tyler Rowe will not be there for the first the first month or so, he's dealing with an injury. But I really like the Norman Powell pickup. I think he is going to be exceptional filling in that role. I think he's going to take a lot of shots. I think he's a proven scorer in this league. Last year he walked in at 24, 23 points per game. It was almost an all-star. When Kawhi didn't play, he gave the Clippers exactly what they needed by scoring points. I think he's going to do the exact same thing in Miami. Like you said, that front court is fired. They just extended Nikola Jovic. I think another young guy in the league who can make some noise. I really, really love Davion Mitchell. I think he's a guy that
I've always loved Davion Mitchell.
Yeah, I think every team in this league would love to have a Davion
him
Mitchell.
Too.
Guys like him don't grow on trees. Guys who wanted to go out there and guard the best player and actually do a good job at it, that's not something that's common. So that'll be huge for them when him out there in the perimeter, Bam and Khalil Ware protecting the paint. I think that's going to be big. Obviously, you still have Coach Spoelstra, who wasn't he just announced, I could be wrong, as the next Team USA coach?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, Team USA coach, NBA champion coach, a guy who is probably, if not top 3, top 4 most career wins and playoff wins in the league right now. A guy who's experienced, a guy who shows you he's willing to go 2-3 zones, 1-3-1 zones, traps, a guy who pull any trigger out the back to get a win, a guy who knows how to maximize his talent, guy who knows how to, bring the Haywood Highsmiths, the Gabe Vincents, the whoever else they brought it from the G League and end up getting paid or starting somewhere. So they always pull something out of their bag to get them in that conversation, get them competitive, to get them to justify those little random with national TV nights they get. They always know how to hold their own. So I expect them to go out there and grab that 8th seed. And then 9th, I got Boston. I just don't think.
Oh my goodness, 9th.
Yeah, I do. I have Boston 9th.
9th?
Like I do. I got them 9th.
You do not fuck with Jaylen Brown.
Not too much, no. I don't. I think that the whole.
Too much, no.
I don't, as a number one option. I don't like it. I think that Tatum is clear cut to me. In my opinion, he's clear cut the best player. Without him, I think things will go south. But I just have them still in the play-in. I love their culture. I love Joe Mazzulla. I think they still have what it takes to be competitive. They can still. They're still going to be a disciplined team. They're still going to get out and run. They're still going to hit threes. They're still going to They're still going to compete. They're still going to defend. I think they're still going to do a lot of things the right way. But without that number one scoring punch and without losing Porzingis and just pretty much and losing Tatum, I think that it's going to be tough for them to stay afloat. But I do think Derek White. I think he have a big year as a top 2-3 option on that team. Like I said, Peyton Pritchard will be better. Simons on the bench will help them a lot. But I just can't see them, winning with that front line. Like you said, a lot of question marks. With Keda and Luke Cornett. And those guys, they're gonna have to kind of weed that out. I think it's gonna be a big problem for them, just like how Indiana is. Like I think you can't win too many games when your front line are the guys that we stated. But I do still expect them to be like in that playing area in there. They might even make the playoffs from that. Obviously playing only got to win 1 game, 1 or 2 games, and you're in. But I can't see them as a serious contender with everything they're missing. And I don't expect much from Jaylen Brown, a guy who still struggles to go to the left with his left hand, and they just. Yeah, I don't expect, but they will still be competitive, so they'll still win in that plan. And then 10th, like I said, 10th is a very interesting spot for me. It's hard. I got like a couple teams. I put 4 teams, but
I have a wild card team that I didn't mention at all. That's the 76ers. And I didn't mention them because I just don't believe that they're gonna be healthy. I saw a report that said they're hopeful Embiid is gonna play opening night.
They said they've been in scrimmages. Said they've been in training camp. Said they've been playing in scrimmages and stuff in practice so far.
But they said they was gonna break his hip bone to put it in his knee. Granted, if Joel Embiid is healthy and he can actually give you 55 games or something like that, that changes a lot.
That's like 10. That's like HC by default with him playing.
Yeah, like that changed a lot. You also do got Jerry McCain coming back, who he got hurt last year. He probably would have won Rookie of the Year if he didn't get hurt last year. Another year with Tyrese Maxey. PG already out. I don't know what PG injury is right now, but PG already out. So like VJ Edgecombe looked nice in the preseason. VJ Edgecombe did look nice. So, you do have Andre Drummond. Oh, that's a fantasy pickup. Andre Drummond. Any center that is backing up Joel Embiid, pick him in fantasy. Pick him in fantasy. But yeah, my Sixers are my wild card team, bro. Like, yeah, they could be a 7th seed, an 8th seed. maybe even a 6 seed if they have the season, a magical season. They brought Quentin Grimes back. If the 6 seed if they have a magical season, but I'm just very unsure about the health of everybody surrounding this team for me to really rank them and put them anywhere. I'm just very, 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 very unsure.
That's fair.
Now, granted, real quick, it may be a good thing that we don't know what's going on with Embiid. I think too many times we know what's going on with Embiid, and he may feel he needs to rush back and get healthy. So maybe it's a good thing that we don't know what's going on with him. And if he is genuinely healthy opening day, okay, cool, come on, play.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like you said, that Philly, that injury issue just makes it really hard to gauge what that team can be, will be, won't be, whatever. So I had them. I mean, I put down a couple teams. Philly was one of the teams I put down, but I put down Philly, Indiana, the Bulls, and I guess you consider my wild card team would probably be the Charlotte Hornets. It could be my bias because I'm a big LaMelo Ball fan, but I think that if this team can find an identity, they can play fast. If they can stay healthy, like I said, Brandon Miller's missed games over the years. Miles Bridges has his missed games and had legal issues. If those guys can, build some camaraderie, build some chemistry, and get on the court, if they can play fast, do their thing, and guys can just stay on the court. LaMelo Ball was literally voted to be an all-star starter last year, but the coaches and the
because he didn't know he didn't need to be all-star starter last year, bro.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. Listen, okay, listen. Here is my thing about.
We're talking about the all-star game, brother.
Okay, listen. Listen, here is my thing about the Charlotte Hornets and LaMelo Ball. Actually, you know what? Let me type a whole thing because I might actually put this up.
They bring in Canepo too.
Here's the thing. The Charlotte Hornets aren't a real basketball team. They have a bunch of people who play like my players. LaMelo Ball, as talented as he is, plays like a my player. I like Brandon Miller. I like the talent that they have on that roster. That is a very talented and young roster.
You think a very talented roster? You don't think that's a reach? A very talented roster?
You got LaMelo Ball. Very talented. Listen, you got LaMelo Ball. You got Brandon Miller. I like what Trey Mann could do. You got Miles. Like, you got guys who are talented. You got talented guys on the squad.
They do have Colin Sexton too.
Yeah, Colin Sexton. You got talented guys on the team. It's just no adults in the room.
They need a vet.
They need something. A veteran. They need a coach who is, I guess, I don't even want to say established because it's a team full of YNs. I only want to say established. You need a coach that can relate to them, but also make them serious. Like, again, that's a very fun league pass team and also health. They ain't never healthy. LaMelo Ball don't be playing.
Never.
Brandon Miller last year. Brandon Miller last year, he wasn't healthy. So they, number one, got to get some adults in the room, and two, get on the basketball court, bro. That's my opinion on the Hornets, though.
I agree. I'm not mad at it, but yeah, if they can establish an identity, if they can let LaMelo Ball can stay on the court, I think obviously the best thing for them is just get the ball to LaMelo, run down the court, fill the lanes. Get the ball to LaMelo.
Like what do we like?
Run the corner, somebody run for the lob.
Like
as hell. We can outscore teams. We're just gonna be 142 to 135 every night.
That's not real basketball. That's not real basketball, bro. That's still not real basketball. Can we get a back? Like, bro, can we get a back cut? Can we run a play?
Do they have the personnel to play real basketball?
I think they got the talent. They got a talented team.
Talent and running in real basketball don't always go hand in hand.
I agree with you completely, which is why the Hornets have been in the situation that they've been in for, man, bro. The Hornets been in this situation for, bro, like ever. Literally, since they got back to Charlotte, they've been in this situation.
Who is their center?
Mark Williams still.
Is it? It is, huh? No. He's no. Is he a son?
I think he might be. Who is it? Yeah, you're right. He is a son. Who is their center? That's a good question.
They got a couple dudes on their roster. They got a young dude named Igbu Baji.
Mason Plumlee starting at center for them?
Ryan. They got some young people.
Yeah, but I see. I'm looking at it right now. But yeah, exactly, they need more adults in there. And they got Spencer Dinwiddie. They Grant Williams coming back off the ACL. They got Josh Green, but they need more adults in the room, bro. But I do want to see Con Knippel. I think Con Knippel gives them something. I think he gives them something. Yeah, I think he gives them something that they were missing. Like, they actually needed like an actual actual bigger guard, well, like another guard forward next to Miller and Melo. I think they're building out a quality team. I think they're building out the outlines of an actual real basketball team. But I still don't think the Hornets currently as it stands are a real legit NBA team.
I think that if they could somewhat figure it out, this would be one of the best stories in basketball. That's pretty.
I'm not
if
mad
they
at
could
that.
if they could somewhat, make a 9-10 seed, 8 seed, whatever, it'd be one of the best stories in basketball. I think
I'm
if
not
they
mad at
could
that.
make some noise and finally, play some games and get out there. They already got the fun announcers. They already had Melo. Melo already had arguably the best highlight of the entire preseason. He nutmegged somebody and threw a lot of Brandon Miller. Everybody's going crazy. If we get that for 60, 70 games, we get that 50, 60 games out of the year. That's an amazing story, and I think a lot of people will watch. And I think that they could, maybe snatch some national TV games next year.
I'm not mad at that. My wild card team, my other wild card team, it probably won't happen. But what if they could get a 10 seed? The Washington Wizards. No, listen. Let me land. They have adults in the room. They still have Middleton and CJ McCollum. I don't know how long they're gonna be there. Listen. I don't know how long they're gonna be there. But I just love the length that this squad has. Like, bro, you got Cam Whitmore, who couldn't get off the bench in Houston, but everybody was excited about Cam Whitmore, like what he could possibly do if he gets some playing time. He gonna get some playing time now. Bruno Coulibaly. I like Coulibaly. I like Bub Carrington. You got second year Alexander Sarr. I may be overreaching, but I think they can be decent, and win some games just because of their length. They have some actual NBA players in the room. And again, I just love the length that they can put on the court. They can make it at least difficult for certain teams to score.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I guess I don't agree. I don't agree, but I mean, it's nice. It's nice to hear somebody saying something positive about Washington. Over the years they've been a 10, 15 win team. So
I at least like the direction in theory that they're going.
Yeah, I definitely think this could be a big year for Alexander Sarr for sure, just off his length in general and the opportunity he'll have. I'm excited to watch him. That's definitely my bookmark player on that team is Alexander Sarr. He was a top 3 pick, right? Or second
pick in the draft.
Yeah, so I mean, he got his opportunity. He showed flashes last year. He can fill the stat sheet up a little bit, so it's gonna be interesting to see what he does.
We are gonna get folded up in the next Olympics, by the way, but it's love.
No, we're not. Stop.
Yeah, we're gonna get folded up, bro. We're gonna get folded. France is gonna fold us up.
When the time comes, we gotta bet a bottle on that or something.
We could listen. We could bet a bottle. France is gonna fold us up in the next Olympics, brother.
No,
fold us clean up, bro.
You know they're not. You never seen Darren Peterson. You ain't never seen Cooper Flag. You never seen. We got. Look,
brother, have you seen Wemby? Brother, have you seen Wemby?
Have you seen Chet Holmgren? Have you seen Evan Mobley? We got hitters for Wemby. We got
all right, man.
Who you want, Wemby? We got
all right, man.
We can match up, brother.
All right, man. We'll see. But do you have anything else that you want to talk about before we get on out of here and reconvene? Actually, you know what? Next week, are you free to do like an actual in person?
I'm not working the opener.
Pull up for the opener, and let's do like an actual in-person joint for the opener of the season.
For sure.
Well, again, as always, man, it's been Hoops and Brews. Appreciate all you guys watching. Appreciate all you guys watching through the years. And man. Until let me do this right. Until next time, we will holla at y'all. So yeah, appreciate y'all, man. Thank